Update. What's been happening overnight there?
Thank you again, Lian. We are live again from Vuwani. This is next to Vuwani. And let me also indicate that this is such a vast area. You've got Vuwani, you've got Vuwani, you've got Mashau, where things have been happening. That is where most of the schools were touched. But let's talk about last night, about what Minister Mahlobo said last night. He indicated or reiterated on what the president said the other time, that anarchy will not be tolerated in this part of the province, more especially because the people of Vuwani, Mashau and the surrounding area, they still have avenues that they can exhaust. They can still go to the Supreme Court of Appeal. If they are not happy with the High Court's decision, they can still even go as far as the Constitutional Court. He also indicated that police were worried about what is happening and they now have forces on the ground. He even confirmed last night that there are people, we've got a lot of police who can even attest to that, and unlike how the situation was in the past few days, we've got a lot of police officers. Each and every corner of this area is now manned by police. But let us also indicate that at around 10 o'clock, Minister Mahlobo and the other delegation of ministers who came to Limpopo yesterday will be meeting with various structures, and one of the key person or area where they will be going is at the King's Place. They are expected to meet King Tony Mpepura Mabulan just to seek his intervention on this matter, because the local chiefs here are the ones who took this matter to court. So it will be important for them to now talk to the king, to try and persuade the chiefs to talk to their people, to make sure that there's minimal violence and the touching of schools must come to an end. It is then that the delegation of ministers and the MEC that were meeting last night will come to Vuwani, Vuwani, Mashau, and all the surrounding areas to assess the extent of the damage that was caused by the locals here who were protesting, because as it stands, none of them have been here. They've been meeting at Thohoyandou. It's a distance of about 20 kilometers from where we are. So we'll be following in that meeting. We'll also try and accompany the ministers or be in the presence of ministers when they come to check the extent of the damage, to see the schools that were touched. The number of the people that have been arrested remain at 12 for now, but we are likely to get an update at 8 o'clock this morning about what transpired overnight. Lian.
Let's talk about the numbers of the schools. I mean, there have been some differing figures. We've been reporting this morning that 24 schools have now been burnt. I mean, we're talking in excess of, well, I'd say almost 30,000 school children and pupils are not able to go to school. Schooling has been disrupted and 50 schools have been affected. Talk to us about this, because this is what's really having a direct impact on the lives and the futures of these children.
No doubt, Lian. It is massive. Minister Mahlobo spoke to that yesterday to say it's the first in the history of South African democracy to have so many schools damaged at one place. But we must also indicate that some of these schools were banned daylight, like the one that was banned at around 1-2 in the afternoon, around 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. It is worrisome, but we must also in the same vein indicate that these residents have come to an agreement that they are going to shut down those schools until the 3rd of August. But parents came out to say that shutting down of the schools and the services here was part of their plan, but banning them, they did not see that coming. That is why they are coming out to say now they will be assisting police. But let us also indicate that it seems as if there's a criminal element that is creeping into this matter, because we have seen in some of the schools where structures were touched, the nutrition rooms where they store food for the learners were broken into. Some of the food was taken. So it's indeed correct that thousands of learners will be left stranded should the solution be found at the very near future. But if it does not happen, we might face a situation that we saw at Northern Cape last year, where learners have to stay at home for the duration of the year. Lian.
You know, I think a lot of South Africans are questioning why burn schools, and they're trying to come to terms with and understand of all the things to target. Why schools? Why burn them? Why gut them and ruin the future of their children? I mean, is there an explanation? Is there a reason as to why schools specifically have been targeted?
You see, Leanne, it is very difficult to get such an explanation because you'll remember these people met on Sunday. There was a team that was responsible, that was in charge of this whole process, the pro-Makado team. That task team was dissolved on Sunday. So currently, there is no one who is in charge or responsible for this protest. No one is coming out to say why schools specifically. But maybe they are checking at what happened last year at Malamulele when they had a similar problem. You'll remember that it's about 20 kilometers from where we are. About 5 schools were touched at Malamulele. And a few months down the line, Malamulele people were granted the municipality that they were looking for, which must include Vuwani and other areas. It looks like they have taken cue from Malamulele to say that if people need something, they must go down this road. But locals are saying that is not what they were planning. It was not part of the plan, so they don't know. They are alleging that they are criminals who hijacked their protest to prevent them from moving from Makado to Malamulele. Leanne.
All right. We're going to have to leave it there. I'm going to talk to you again a little bit later on in the program, Michael, and just, I suppose, get a little bit of clarity on the president who said that he finds that the events there, the vandalism in protest action, he's called it suspicious. So we'll get a little bit more clarity on that as well. We'll speak to him during the program.